Hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tara with Tilly, and thank you for being here. Thank you for all the positive, loving support you send me each and every day. I send it right back to you. Now, I am shaking things up a bit. I mentioned it yesterday. I'll mention it for the next several, okay, if you just happen to just pop in and pop out or you're brand new. I am shaking things up a bit. I'm, gosh, I hope I have your support. So leave it in the comments what you think. You and please, I've got thick skin, so please, the reason I'm here is for you. But for now, I'm going to omit the astrology, and just for the remainder of the year, though. Okay, by January 2026, I will have it all in place. Now, to promise that earlier, I don't think it's realistic to make that promise to you. I don't logistically, and give me till January, give me till the new year. And the only reason I'm doing this now, because my thoughts were to do this in the new year, but it's my birthday week, and so this will help me shorten the videos a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to pump out a couple extras so that you don't miss me as many days. But it just came spontaneously up, and it's going to be a wonderful week for me, and doing all the things that I love to do. And all I have to do is show up. All I have to do is show up. So I'm going to, and so hopefully you'll support me in my absence again. Another one unplanned. I'm so sorry. Uh, so welcome to your daily focus, December the 10th, 2025. Today we have the energy of the 10. So the 10 is about, well, the 10 is always turning. It's good luck. It's always turning. It's always evolving. It's always transforming. That is our life. That is our life path. And we do it, it happens regardless of if we decide to be an active participant or not. So the 10 energy asks us to understand the season we are in, where we are headed towards, our goals, our dreams, our desires, and to go with the flow rather than, always going against the flow. 1 plus 0 is a 1, and that is the I am. That is the independent. That is a day where you realize what you can do, not what everybody else can help you do, although there's a time for that as well. But with the 1 energy, where can I stand in my independence? What am I capable of doing on my own? I don't need to wait for anybody to do something or help in some way. What can I do? Independently. You are the pioneer. And you get to make a statement about who you are. This is the beginning of walking through the numerology. If we look at the daily numerology, it would be a 3 plus a 1 plus a 9. That gives us a 13 energy. And the 13 energy is a very lucky number. In fact, it's not just about luck. So we have the 10, which is lucky, the 13, which is lucky, but it's not so much luck as it is giving and receiving and nurturing and compassion towards each other and abundance and growing our wealth, growing our prosperity, growing our relationships, and the give and take, the ebb and flow of those things, and bringing in seemingly miracles into our life. Although under a 13 energy, sometimes it doesn't seem like it's a miracle. Sometimes we think it's the exact opposite. It's not until we realize, it wasn't until I heard that I decided this. If that didn't happen to me, I would never be here in the now, living this life. I would be off doing something else completely. This can introduce us to, it writes us on our path. It shows us something that maybe we have never glanced at before, never walked into before, never gave it more than a passing glance. And all of a sudden it becomes your whole world. 1 plus 3 is a 4, and that's getting our ducks in a row. That is about creating our foundation, a solid foundation around us. What are our pillars? If we had 4 pillars that we live by, what are our pillars? our strength of who we are. Okay, let's turn to the cards. So we'll give them a fast shuffle here. And we will cut the cards. And let's see what we have for today. Now, we have, look at this, the Lovers. This is about embracing the things we love, the things that we want to do. This is about growing relationships deeper, stronger, connecting on an emotional level, also a logical level. We connect on all levels. But this is about, it could be a relationship, and looking at that relationship and how can we build this stronger together. Not what can I do, although, well, it's what I can do because we have the one energy today, but collectively, what can you do together to grow? Okay, because it can't be one-sided. So yes, what can you do, but also what can you do together to grow that relationship, to deepen that relationship? If it is towards a passion, a dream, a desire, a goal, when we look at this card, it is about embracing it. It doesn't, I don't care how crazy it is. Okay, if it's been calling to you, you really need to pay attention to that right now. Okay, all of this year, it's probably been speaking out to you. You need to do this. Why don't you try that? This is a time to embrace it. You know, when we're in a Sag energy, we are in a learning energy. We want to learn. We want to grow our knowledge. So right now, signing up for a workshop or a course or reading that book or whatever it is to enhance your knowledge, maybe it's working hands-on. Maybe it's getting together with a group of people that are like-minded. You know, network who you are within your community, within other groups. Okay, but embrace that passion, that dream, that desire, those goals that you want to set for yourself, because this is a beautiful energy time in which to do this. And something might just jump out at us today with the 13 energy. So, you know, unexpected might happen under a 13 energy. Queen of Pentacles. I love the Queen of Pentacles because she's frugal. She's minding her money, okay? She's figuring out, how can I do this successfully? Okay, so, let's say you can't stand the rising cost of meat. Okay, now you can maybe, somebody goes a cow or a cow or a pig or an animal that we would eat. Maybe they can put one in their backyard, but maybe you can't. Maybe you only live in an apartment. Maybe that's an unfeasible choice for you. So then you go and you look at other routes and you start looking at the flyers and who's got the best deals and who's doing a smashing sale so that you get in their doors to buy everything else that's overpriced. Whatever it is, right? We start to look at, how can I do it? Maybe you work a deal with a farmer and you pay so much for the raising of that cow and the slaughtering of that cow. Maybe. Okay, so we all have all kinds of ideas. So she just doesn't go into a grocery store, pick up that meat, and go to the checkout counter. And maybe, sorry if I'm offending by talking about meat and eating and animals and stuff, but, take the gist of the story. Yeah, she just doesn't walk into a store and buy it and walks out again. She researches how her money is going to be the best spent. Now, if she's got 3 hours of office work to do every day, and it takes about 10 hours to clean her house every week, then she might want to hire somebody to either do the office work or do the housework. Either way, it's an investment, and she can incorporate that into what she sells everything for. So it's an investment into herself, into her business. Maybe she's a full-time mom, but a full-time employee somewhere. So she needs to invest in herself in some way. So she can't be the caregiver and the full-time employee, so she has to pay for somebody else to be there when she cannot, or work out some kind of group. Maybe three moms can go together and get one babysitter every day, and there's one house that's the house where the kids go. So there's different ways of working it out. Look at what might work for you. Plus, the storm is over. She knows that the storm is over. The storm was the crisis of not knowing what to do. Now she's breathing. Now she's taking control of. Now she is saying, okay, what is my call to action here? And maybe you're building that bridge that's a 2 week, if I just do this for the next 2 weeks, or I do this for the next 6 months, or I do this for the next 2 to 3 years, this is my end result. Okay, Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, lots of opportunities opening to us to keep your eyes open, your ears open. It can take us just about anywhere. But don't say no to the opportunity just because you want to say no to the opportunity. But yeah, don't say yes to the opportunity just because you want to say yes to the opportunity. You do have to weigh things out, okay? Um, but chances are that opportunity is showing up for a very specific reason, and you need to stop, even if it's somebody asking you to help them do something, okay? My son, big heart. Somebody put on Facebook, it was a couple of years ago now. Somebody put on Facebook, hey, moving a large freezer, could use some extra muscle. Anybody available right now? And he says, yeah, I can be there in 20 minutes. And he doesn't drive or anything, so he walked. Okay? So he walked a good 20, 25 minutes through the country to get to this person's place, which was a business. And he gives them a hand moving this big freezer in. And then he walks home again. It doesn't think anything of it because that's the kind of big gentle giant he is. He doesn't think anything of doing something like that for a complete stranger. He knows they're a neighbor, right? Because they're on Facebook. And anyways, fast forward 2 months later, he ordered a pizza from the place, and he's telling me about the story how a couple months ago he helped move a freezer in. And he says, oh yeah. So he walks in and he's talking to the guy and he goes, hey, I know you. You came out and helped me that one day and gave Paul the pizza for free. You just don't know where that act, and Paul didn't do it so he'd hopefully get a pizza one day free. He did it because he was just paying it forward. So look for any kind of opportunity. Okay, maybe it's words you hear. Maybe it's a song that starts playing, takes you back to a certain moment in time. What were you doing during those years? And the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is coming out quite a bit. And this is where we have the opportunity, if we dare, if we have the courage to rip the blindfold off. To see what has been holding us back, to see what has been limiting us, to see what the wall actually looks like. Here we find out that the wall is just some swords in the ground, and man, you can just pick those up and throw them away. Our hands are free here. But there is a blindfold on us. Do we choose to see where we truly are and have a real honesty check with ourselves so that we can see the way forward? Because there is a way forward. You just have to look for it. You just have to. We have an excuses bag. Many of you have heard my excuses bags. It's humongous. It's bigger than Santa's pack, okay? It's huge. And there are so many excuses in there on why we shouldn't, why we can't. And they're so good that we can actually convince ourselves that we're making the right decision if we scrummage long enough in that excuses bag. I ask you not to go to the excuses bag. To stand firm in, why am I making this decision for myself? Why am I using my time in this way? Why am I using my energy in this way? Why am I using my resources in this way? And have an honest talk to yourself. Why do I hope my marriage can go to this, or why do I think it can grow into this? Okay, what is the structure? What is the foundation? Go back to that four energy that we are visiting today. We're also going to just stick with the animal card. Somebody asked me, what is the name? Okay, it's Higher Intuitions. If you go in the description box, I got a link. Okay, it's to Amazon. But, Amazon, you can get, 5,000 reviews on what they thought of the deck. So, buy your deck wherever you want. So, Higher Intuition. Oh, there's a theme, so that's why my nails are this color. I had to go get the hair color and pull out the suitcase and go and do a big load of laundry of all the things I want to wear. And oh my gosh, talk about And I'm trying to get all these videos done, which I won't, but I will be back for the new moon in Sagittarius. Okay. It's like the 18th or the 19th or something. I'll be back by then. Okay. Because I am a Sag. So I'm not going to miss. Wild horses couldn't keep me away from being here for the new moon in Sagittarius. Anyways, we have, look at this, deep rest the most. Are we tired? Are we burning the candle at both ends? Are we trying to get everything done? Is that what I was just talking about? And it is the season. It is the season when there's extra responsibilities. You know, we got to clean the nook and crannies of our house because we're gonna have all the family over, or we got to go shopping an extra 10 times this week. So ask for those parking spots, okay? Just Just say, yeah, I need a front row parking spot or one within the first aisle or two or one that I can just drive into. And watch how often it happens when you ask. Okay, so then once you realize that that works, you might want to ask for a few more things. Okay, they're always there to help. Always there to help, but we have to invite them in to do the work. Okay, so we have our beautiful mouse. Lazy sleep, rest, and meditate. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass under the tree on a summer's day, listening to the murmur of water or watching the clouds float across the sky is by no means a waste of time. So Mouse says it's time for you to make time for laziness. You don't want to have to be constantly on the go. After all, that is how you become run down. Spend a little time each day or week doing something you enjoy that is completely frivolous and fun. It could be an afternoon laying in the hammock, reading a book, watching your favorite movie, playing with the kids. This is not a time to begin anything new. It's time of restoring your spirit. Sometimes rest doesn't necessarily have to be sleeping. It can be just quieting your mind. So take some time to ground yourself. Take a yoga class or just breathe or garden or fish or do the dishes, sweep the floor, spend some time in nature. Okay, spend some time meditating and just being in the moment. And you don't physically have to be at your happy place to go to your happy place. It can simply be within your mind. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. And that is so true. And if you start to create a place for yourself and then you go back to that place each day, you can expand it over time. I've got a beautiful, beautiful, I got several beautiful different scenarios that I can go into. But one is my room. It's all in white because I can never have a completely white room in my real life. Um, and the pillows are fluffy and everything's firm enough, and I mean it's just right. I've got a big window overlooking the ocean, and giant waves are coming and crashing on the big giant rocks outside the window. And some of it, sprays a mist around, but my windows always stay remarkably clear. There's no water on it or no mist or no fog ever. I can always see out, no matter if it's night or day in my mind. There's a door where people can come in off the mountaintop. Just I've got a fireplace with two beautiful big back chairs sitting there, so I can invite somebody in. I've got a healing room. I've got it all in there. I've built it up over time, and so can you. And every time you go there, it gets easier to go there. Okay, so you don't have to put as much energy into the breathing, and it's just like one, two, three, and you're there. You're in the moment. Like I could start walking you around and taking you for a walk as easy as that because I go there. I go there quite often. Anyways, this is a time. This is a time to, you know, t- to pay attention to those flashes of truth, of genius, of courage. Okay, if something comes up unexpectedly, you're having a talk, and all of a sudden, or you're talking to somebody you normally wouldn't talk to, just keep going. This is a time to walk around with a little notebook and write down those ideas, those thoughts, those dreams, those desires, those goals that you want to set, and start brainstorming even with yourself, and start growing that path that you are stepping into so that it is straight, it is protective, and it is loving. And it's taking you towards your dreams, your desires, your passions. Until we meet again, remember, my finger got itchy there, I guess. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.